This video will show you how to use the LSP Application Manager for running a few ready-to-run ESP32 Lua examples that is included in the GitHub repository. The LSP Application Manager is a web-based IDE that runs on the device and provides a read-eval-print loop, enabling rapid development using the Lua language. For a more detailed introduction on how to use the LSP Application Manager, see the video link included in the video description or click the next video at the end of this video. Here you can observe the servo control example, which allows you to control a servo using a slider within your browser. The real-time slider, implemented using JavaScript, communicates with the device code implemented in Lua through the MQTT IoT protocol. The LSP Application Manager is a powerful application, implemented in Lua, that leverages the pre-built Lua APIs available within the Barracuda App Server C source code library. Additionally, it includes some C code that, when combined with the Barracuda App Server and Lua code, provides a comprehensive integrated development environment, IDE, accessible through a browser-based interface. You will need to compile the Barracuda App Server source code using the command line-based ESP IDF development environment. This process is outlined in detail in the following video section and can be skipped if you choose to use the Shark SSL IDE, which provides a more user-friendly experience for those with limited command line experience. With the Shark SSL IDE, you can compile and upload the complete LSP Application Manager firmware with just one click. See the link provided in the video description for how to download the Shark SSL IDE. Once the firmware has been uploaded to the ESP32 device, it will automatically reboot. Notice the server printouts in the ESP IDF console. The device will obtain an IP address via DHCP, and the server will then start listening on HTTP port 80 and HTTPS port 443. Additionally, the LSP Application Manager will print a link for the combined WebDAV and a web file manager. Use this link when uploading Lua code to the ESP32. To create an application using the LSP Application Manager's web interface, access the interface by entering the device's IP address into your browser. On the New Applications tab, click the Browse button and follow the wizard. Select or create the directory where you want to store the Lua files. Locate all the ready-to-use Lua examples in the GitHub repository. Using the browser, navigate to the Web File Manager. The URL to the Web File Manager is the device IP address followed by /fs/. Navigate into the directory for the application you just created. Drag and drop all Lua files onto the browser window. This will upload all files to the ESP32. After uploading the Lua files to the ESP32 device, you can access the web-based Lua IDE by navigating to the Applications List tab. Find the application you created and click its Edit button. This will open the web-based Lua IDE, where you can edit and execute the Lua code you just uploaded. The Lua Blink LED example, running on the ESP32, turns the LED on and off. To use this example, you will need to configure the GPIO settings for your onboard ESP32 LED or for an LED you have connected to your device. The example uses an interval timer to turn the LED on and off. The HTTP example fetches the current time from an internet time server through a standard socket call. The retrieved time is then sent to an online ASCII art generator via the HTTP client interface. The generated ASCII art representation of the time is displayed in the browser. The Acme example shows how to use the Let's Encrypt plugin to automate the installation of a trusted TLS certificate on the ESP32. Acme is short for Automatic Certificate Management Environment. The Acme protocol automates the installation of trusted TLS certificates through the Let's Encrypt service. However, the Let's Encrypt service is not designed for servers on private networks. The free Shark Trust product extends the Let's Encrypt service and enables its use for servers on private networks as well. More information on Shark Trust can be found in the video description, including links to several blog posts and web pages on the Real-Time Logic website that provide in-depth details about the product. Public Key Infrastructure, abbreviated PKI, is complicated, and we recommend reading the tutorial Certificate Management for Embedded Systems if you are new to certificate management. In addition to using the Web File Manager, the Lua examples can also be uploaded to the ESP32 using the WebDAV server. WebDAV is a more user-friendly protocol compared to FTP, as it provides direct access to the remote file server in a manner similar to a standard drive on your computer without the need for additional software. This makes it much simpler to use than a traditional FTP server, which requires the use of specialized software for accessing and transferring files. Here you can see how the Visual Studio Code Editor can be used instead of the web-based editor when the ESP32 is mapped as a WebDAV drive.